Check, check, check 2, 3. Look, Father, no hands. Surrendering all things to God, that He may be all things to us. It can be like the feeling of a free fall. You know, the initial weightlessness until gravity's grasp, the wind rushing by your face, your stomach and your throat, the adrenaline coursing through your body as you embrace the fast fleeting space between where you are now and planet Earth. You approximate your landing position. Flaps in, wheels down. Here we go. Splash. An exhilarating experience of elements. Sun, sky, air, until water rushing your face. Then sun, sky, air again. With that initial breath after breaking the water's surface, you let out an exuberant holler as you swim to the riverbank to do it once more. This describes a 70-foot or so jump from someone, yours truly, who has a fear of heights. Now, I've always believed that I should face my fears. From youth on, I thought if I jumped enough cliffs, dived from enough bridges, scaled enough heights, base jumped enough buildings, whatever the challenge was, I would eventually conquer my fear of heights. But it never happened. Every time, it's the same thing. First, I begin to reason with myself. I guess today is as good as any day to die. Why would I want to do such a thing? What am I thinking? If I was supposed to fly, God surely would have given me wings. As I examine the jump, and my quickening heart rate tells me it seems like a long way down, my fear attempts to talk me out of it. The hardest part is taking the leap, letting go, and challenging the fear and all that is holding me back. When I was a kid, I rode my bike everywhere. I remember learning how to ride while letting go of the handlebars. And at first, it was new, and I would have to make corrections more often. But after developing the practice, I felt completely comfortable releasing my grip and enjoying the ride. I find that surrendering all to God can be like that feeling. Letting go and surrendering, handing all matters and control to God can be scary, and the subconscious resistance steps in many times. The mind may start reasoning from the human perspective out of fear and squeeze out the mind of Christ, so that we find ourselves thinking more like man and less like Christ. But taking the leap with God is nothing like taking the leap from a physical height where you have no safety net. Letting go of the steering wheel, nothing like allowing God to do the steering for you. God is trustworthy. And when we allow all areas of our life to free fall into Him, He's got us. Perfect in all of His ways. His will for our lives is the best thing we can give ourselves over to. Full surrender to God takes full trust in Him. And it also requires that we let go and let God. But in surrendering all things to God, it's not a single leap or a single time of releasing our grip or taking the plunge. No, but it's a daily decision. Sometimes it's an exercise throughout the day where we develop awareness when we're not fully surrendering and stop, breathe, and pray that God assist us to surrender to His will, not that of our own. Sometimes reminding ourselves multiple times throughout the day that there is no better place for any matter than in the Most High's hands is necessary. The more we practice this, the better we get at it. And remembering that God is our tether, He is our safety net and our soft landing place. He's also our secure height. He will not allow us who are falling back on him to fall. We who throw our burden upon him, he himself will sustain us and take care of us. Yes, when we let go and trust in God, surrendering all of ourselves and life's matters into his hands, he promises us that he will never leave us nor forsake us. Remembering how God described himself to Moses as merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and abundant in loving kindness and truth helps us draw close to God and Jesus. Well, Jesus made our approach possible so that we can be of cheerful hearts as we trust in the true God with all our hearts and do not lean on our own understanding, but look to him and his will and the way of Christ in all things. Sheila, why are you laughing? This verse seems to be my circle of life verse, as it always comes back to having that implicit trust in God. Trusting in God with full surrender so that we let go of our grasp of the things that we're holding on to that creates a hindrance. That we take that leap of faith every day where we allow things to land in the Lord's hands. That we learn to ride our bikes with letting go of the handlebars and let him steer. That we may say, look, Father, no hands, that God may be all things to all of us. Thank you so much for joining in for this week's Power Tool. Look, Father, no hands. Please join me again next week, Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, for the next spiritual tool brought to you in spirit and truth. Until then, may we let go of our grasp on the things binding us and that are making us stuck. Take that leap of faith and surrender all things to the faithful God, that he may be all things to us. Signing off for now with agape and big, big philia. Spiritual health to you. Bye now.